This evening, we start over at the 101st Convention of the American Farm Bureau, and it's being held in Austin, Texas. Now, President Trump this evening will speak to the nation's largest farm and ranch organization. And the Montana Ag Network's Elaine Norland is standing by from the convention center.
Just ahead of next week's Senate impeachment trial, President Donald Trump is set to take the stage here in Austin, Texas at the Farm Bureau's annual convention. Also, we are anticipating the president will continue to talk about trade on the heels of last week's U.S.-China Phase 1 deal and the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement passing in the Senate. Montana Farm Bureau members are anxious to hear the president's remarks.
The third year in a row for him to come to American Farm Bureau, that's pretty impressive. And the trade agreement signings, you know, I said way back when he put the tariffs on China, it's going to hurt a little bit in our industry, but when he gets it straightened out, we're going to be benefiting from that, and we're going to see that in the next couple of years. And it's not every day you get to see your President of the United States in person, so that's going to be really exciting.
Tune in at 10 o'clock where we will have complete coverage of the president's remarks here at the American Farm Bureau Convention. Reporting from Austin, Texas, Elaine Norland, MTN News.
Thank you, Lane. This week on Wednesday will be the 47th anniversary of the January 22nd, 1973 U.S. Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade. And today in Billings, a group has held a presentation in support of pro-life. And Q2's David J. has more on March for Life.
A group of about 150 leaves St. Patrick Co-Cathedral and head to the Yellowstone County Courthouse lawn.
We ask for your protection on children in the womb.
After a prayer, the speakers talked about pro-life.
Overall, the pro-life has had many wins. For one, we're still talking about abortion. We have not gone away or given up.
I believe to the very core of my being that America is beginning to wake up. Roe v. Wade will eventually be overturned, and the insanity that is abortion will finally come to an end.
Remember, there's two really involved very intimately. If we want to save the child in the womb, the preborn, we need to support the mom.
They had some ideas about the discussion.
We have science on our side. We stand for women to truly be valued and not told that they need to kill their child to get ahead in the world.
Among the victims of abortion, was there another Jonas Salk? Was there another Louis Pasteur or Clara Barton? Was there another Neil Armstrong or Claude Monet or Anne Sullivan or Martin Luther King?
Yes. Let's go back to the Bible. The first crisis pregnancy in the Bible is in Genesis.
And they talked about the future of the debate.
How should we define sexual propriety? What is the meaning and importance of family? What state is our community in to take care of these women who are considering abortion?
I believe that we are beginning to see the light at the end of a very dark tunnel.
Without hope, there is no life.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thank you, David. And the National March for Life was on Friday in Washington, D.C. In Montana, a march was held in Helena on Saturday and this morning in Bozeman. Well, here in Billings, the city is gearing up for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The holiday recognizes the civil rights leader and offers a day to reflect on King's legacy while still staying focused on his mission. Today, the First Congregational Church partnered with the Not in Our Town anti-hate group to remember King. The theme, Everybody versus Injustice. Reverend Michael Mulberry hoped the service inspired people with courage, the courage to stand up while the wind is blowing in your face and know that wind can change.
We're here to try and offer a hand up and again offer some hope to these communities and to help them get to a point where they can use their own voice. So this white girl is not up talking at them. They can come and speak up for themselves, and that's of critical importance at this stage.
Martin Luther King will be honored with a bell-ringing ceremony at the MSUB Student Union Building at 9 a.m. tomorrow. For details, visit ktvq.com. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks is looking for new hunter education instructors across the state. And in this week's Outdoor Report, volunteers share their experience and thoughts about the program.
I came into hunting in the traditional manner. It was handed down to me, I guess you would say, from my dad and from my grandfather. They would take me along.
I loved hunting camp, you know, the whole excitement of cold mornings and the darkness, and I just couldn't wait to hunt.
That also stimulated me to also be involved with hunter education and pass on my knowledge, my experience, my enthusiasm for hunting to new hunters that are coming into the field.
For me, it was like I learned to hunt and became a hunter ed instructor kind of at the same time almost.
Part of why I wanted to get in and do this was archery has given me so much in my life. That's when I really decided I wanted to help share that, and if other people had the same bug I did, if I could kind of help push them in that direction and get them going.
I think one of the primary benefits to the hunter education program is that it takes people who have a long family tradition of hunting and puts them in the same room with people that don't, so that those people can get together and become friends, and that knowledge gets transmitted laterally in addition to up and down the generations. If you're a hunter and you know where to go and you know what to do and you know how to do it safely and you know what ethics are about, then we need you to instruct the next generation of people to keep the sport alive.
I love having a part too in just educating the next generation of hunters.
It's a privilege, as I tell people, and you know, they thank me for it, for being an instructor. And I said, oh my gosh, I mean, it's a privilege to be able to be here. It means a lot. It really means a lot that you know that you're going to make a difference on these kids.
Once again, you can contact Fish, Wildlife, and Parks to learn more about being involved in the Hunter Education Program. Well, stay with us. More to come on the 5:30 news. After the break, we introduce you to a couple who has spent not 1, not 5, but 7 decades together. Later in sports, we introduce you to a trio of karate kids who may be Montanans' next Olympians, a story you won't want to miss. But first, let's check in with our friend Rob Griggs over in weather.
Well, hi there, Zoe. A much warmer and mostly dry weather picture is starting to unfold for Martin Luther King Jr. Monday and the work week beyond it. We'll look at the particulars with a Q2 Storm Tracker forecast in just a few minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.